Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Berkeley County Board of Education meeting this Tuesday, April 10th, 2018. I call this meeting to order. I declare a quorum is present and the media has been notified. Now entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Ms. Lee to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. The agenda is approved. We'll now entertain a motion to enter into executive session.
I made the motion.
Second.
I'm sorry, I missed the motions, y'all. Motion by McQuillan, second.
Reverse.
Motion by Ramsey, second by McQuillan, to enter into executive session for the stated reason of legal advice concerning the investigative proceedings regarding criminal misconduct, discussion of a matter relating to the proposed location, expansion, or the provision of services, encouraging location or expansion of industry or other businesses in the school district served by the school district, Commerce Department requests, personnel considerations, the re-election and non-renewal of certified and professional staff, a discussion of pending employment matters, and 2 student expulsion appeals. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. We are in executive session. Now entertain a motion to return to regular session.
So moved.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Reverend Spann, to return to regular session. I'd like to state for the record that no action was taken in executive session. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. We are now in regular session. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll now entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the regular meeting of March 27th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Ramsey, to approve the minutes for the regular meeting of March 27th, 2018. And is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. We'll now entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the budget workshop on March 27th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Ramsey. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. The minutes are approved. We'll now move on to agenda item 4A, citizen comments. In order to conduct the meeting in an orderly and efficient manner, we ask that you honor the following guidelines. Stakeholder comments are welcomed and encouraged. However, the board will not take immediate action on public comment at this meeting. Any person wishing to address the board must register prior to 6:30. Comments must be regarding programs, policies, or procedures. Comments regarding complaints against employees other than district-level executives or references to students other than the child of the speaker will not be heard in public session. Groups addressing the same topic should select one speaker. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. The board chair reserves the right to allot additional time or halt public comment that do not adhere to the guidelines. I'd like to invite to the podium Eric Bennett from Goose Creek to speak on the Berkeley Center of the Arts and Goose Creek High School.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Eric Bennett. I am a father of a child that attends Goose Creek, is in the Berkeley Center of the Arts program there and in the marching band. I'm also the vice president of the boosters there. I've addressed the council or the board once before. Found out just how short and how long 3 minutes can feel at the same time. It's kind of awing, especially after following the Teacher of the Year ceremony that we had. So today, previously I talked about how wonderful our band director, Joshua Arts, has been this year. I don't know how successful I was in letting you know that we have somebody that's doing the job of two band directors that is working 14 to 18-hour days in doing this, coming back from competitions at midnight or later on a Sunday and still being there for class on a Monday morning and doing most of his job without a planning period. It's a very large load that he is carrying on his shoulders. It could have been avoided. That's a conversation for another day. On March 11th, I sent an email, a pretty lengthy one, to at least 5 of the board members here, and I also copied Dr. Ingram. Thank you to Mr. Michael Ramsey and David Barrow for actually verifying that I do have the right email address and communication. You are the only 2 that I've heard out of those 5. Now, those 5 names that I got from the district's website, and each of those were listed as the representative for Goose Creek High School. One thing I didn't see on there is there's not a single representative attached to the Berkeley Center of the Arts, which is supposed to be the jewel in the crown for arts for Berkeley County. I've dealt with Dr. Ryan Westbury on many occasions, an amazing man, and he is, for all intents and purposes, the one in charge of the Berkeley Center of the Arts program. His office is not in the building with the Berkeley Center of the Arts. This year, our principal for the Berkeley Center of the Arts, Mr. Brendan Glaze, I believe he played an instrument while he was in high school, and that's the qualification for him being in charge of the Berkeley Center of the Arts. Previous to that was Miss LaTanya Butler. She did an amazing job, but again, she would be the first one to tell you she has no arts experience. During the time that she was there, and as our principal, Principal Jim Haynes was an assistant principal at Berkeley, or at Goose Creek High School. This is a man that has many years of experience as an administrator in the arts field, but he was relegated to being the freshman disciplinary administrator. It seems like a very wasted opportunity there for the Berkeley Center of the Arts program. Again, I'm looking down, I got 42 seconds left, so it's kind of affecting me a little bit. I don't think that we're doing enough to support the Berkeley Center of the Arts, and that's what I'm here to say. We do very well in all the competitions statewide. We've pretty much swept as far as how many seats and stuff that our performers have done. And I'm only speaking just from the band. I'm not even talking about creative writing. I'm not talking about art. I'm not talking about dance or the strings program there, because I don't have a lot of experience with them. But when you read about how well we did in state, all you're seeing is Goose Creek High School. You don't see Berkeley Center of the Arts. It is not separated out, and I think that it needs to be. It needs to be its own line. It needs to have its own administrative support. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We'll now move to Agenda Item 5A, action as required from executive session.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to authorize the superintendent to give a letter of no objection to the Commerce Department regarding a regional job center contingent on negotiations with the county supervisor for reimbursement of annual lost revenues from the Economic Development Fund generated from fee in lieu of tax withholdings for a term to be negotiated by the superintendent.
Second. There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Wofford. We've had lengthy discussion. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay.
Madam Chair, in the matter of student number 1, I move that we grant the expulsion appeal and allow the child to return to their home school on strict probation.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Reverend Spann.
No, Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright, I apologize.
No problem.
Y'all might have both talked at the same time. I think you both did. At least I'm not crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Wright, to return the child to the home school on strict probation. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. In the matter of student number 2,
Madam Chair, in the matter of student number 2, I move that we grant the expulsion appeal and allow the child to return to their home school on strict probation.
Second.
there's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, a second by Mr. Wright, to grant the appeal and assign the child back to the home school on strict probation. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion passes. Next, we'll move on to Agenda 6, Item 6A, the Superintendent's Report.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and board members and members of the audience. First, I'd like to welcome everybody back from spring break. I trust everybody had some time with family and friends and enjoyed some well-deserved rest as we get ready to get into the home stretch of the school year. I would like to congratulate 3 of our first-year teachers. College Park Middle's Jared Crosby, Goose Creek Primary's Jennifer Marble, and Hanahan Middle's Ashley Cox were named finalists for Rookie Teacher of the Year. We're very proud of these teachers, and we're thankful that they and all of our teachers choose Berkeley County in which to call home. I also want to congratulate 5 Stratford students who qualified to compete in the HOSA International Leadership Conference in Dallas this coming June. These students are Megan Cross and Kylie Weir of first place Medical Innovation, Jemiah Williams, third place Epidemiology, Celeste Class Rodriguez, first place CPR, and Kylie Gregg, third place CPR. We're certainly proud of all of our students each and every day. Last night, we held our 5th community conversation at Phillips Simmons High School. We had a good conversation regarding school safety, and we used technology for the first time last night through Facebook and entertained questions and comments from parents virtually as well as live and in person, so that was good. Thanks to Vice Chair McQuillan for attending the event with us. Tomorrow morning, I'll be attending a regional STEM symposium at the Trident Technical College with some of our CTE folks. Tomorrow evening, we'll hold a stakeholders meeting for the principal selection at Phillips Simmons Elementary, and that will be at the elementary school at Phillips Simmons. We want to get community input to discover or to find out what characteristics they would like in their next principal. On Thursday evening, here in the boardroom, we'll hold a stakeholders meeting for the principal selection of Berkeley Middle College for the same purpose of gathering input from stakeholders and parents as to the type of leader they would like to see lead Berkeley Middle College in the future. Next Tuesday night, I'll be attending a drop-in event for A.G. Bonner's first Tech Fest event. That promises to be really good. And I'll be starting my 4th and final round of official school visits this week. This time around, I will briefly go to each classroom and thank teachers for their leadership this year. 3rd round, I talked with students and asked questions and took their comments. This time, I'm going to make my best effort to go to every classroom and thank every teacher. I'll blame Katie for this last one. I don't like to call attention to myself, but on Friday before break, teachers, administrators, and I took a pie for Ty. I got a pie in the face during it was not lemon meringue, which disappointed me greatly. A Timberland High school fundraiser. Mr. Darby, the Timberland building construction teacher, is bravely battling cancer. And the students and staff raised money to help support him in his fight. Principal Darty even promised to shave his head if the students raised more money during the event than they had prior. I'm proud to report that I donated $40 to that cause so that I could see that, and was proud to look at that. And he delivered on that promise after students contributed more than twice the amount they had raised prior to the event. The students presented Mr. Darby's family with more than $1,600, and that came from students. That came from our children. So, Madam Chairwoman, board members, and audience, that concludes my superintendent's report for the evening.
Thank you, Superintendent. We did overlook an item from executive session, so we have to go back up to 5A.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept the district's recommendation for the contracts for the 2018-2019 teachers.
Second. There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan and a second by Walford to accept the teacher contracts for the 2018-2019 teachers. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Contracts are approved. We'll now move in this meeting to agenda item 7A, which is adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. McQuillan, and second by Mr. Ramsey to adjourn. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The session is adjourned.